What's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. I'm Grant.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are the G Team. This week, we're just going to do a quick devotion, kind of addressing something that it's kind of the elephant in the room that everyone is talking about right now. And we just did a devotion on fear, and it kind of feeds right into it. But we're going to talk about something that we all should be doing right now, and we should be doing it all the time, and that is praying. Prayer is one of the most neglected gifts that God has given us, and we need to take advantage of it. And we're just going to have a couple of verses on that today. Just a very quick devotion on why we pray and how important it is that we pray. Yeah. And so we'll go ahead and get started.
All right, so the first verse that we are going to read is James 5, verse 16. And the whole verse is really good, but the most important part is the last part. So I'm just going to read the last part of it, and then the image will also show the whole thing. But the most important part is, the effectual fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
And we're also going to look at 2 Chronicles 7, verse 14, and it reads, "If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land." Now would be a good time to take the video, pause it, pray, and ask God to work in your life through this devotion. We'll be right here when you're done.
All right, so our first point in this message, basically, is that we just need to focus on God. We need to make sure that we are praying to Him and understanding that even though right now everyone is terrified of what is happening and scared that they're going to get the coronavirus and everything, which in my mind is nonsense, because anything that is happening is in His plan. And we aren't listening to Him, and He says that He will bring out His wrath. And we just need to pray to Him and make sure that we know that what is happening is according to what He wants to happen. And we're going to be okay. If we believe and trust in Him, then we're going to be all right. And you know what? If you get the coronavirus and you die, you know what? You're going to heaven.
Yeah. I mean, kind of just piggybacking on that too. I mean, we did a video on fear a couple weeks ago about the only thing we should fear is God. And it feeds perfectly into this. People are so scared of this. And truly, I don't understand it. I mean, I understand that maybe the mortality rate is higher for the older population and everything. And things like that scare people. But we see right here in these verses that what we should do is pray. When hard times come, we should pray. When good times come, we should pray. Yeah. We should pray all the time. And in our prayers during this difficult time, I don't necessarily think that we should be praying that this virus is just like eliminated and that the virus is taken away. I think that's the wrong thing. I think what we should be praying is that God uses this to open people's eyes and bring them to Him. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many people die if they're going to hell. If one person dies and goes to hell, or 500 people die and go to hell, it doesn't matter. Each soul matters. We need each and every person to hear the gospel and to be saved. And it doesn't matter if they're dying of the coronavirus or world hunger or so many different things that kill people each and every day. Heart attacks, strokes. People are dying and going to hell every day. And it's our responsibility to deliver the gospel unto them. And to get back on point about our verses for this week, they're about prayer. And as Christians in America right now, we are living in the midst of the end times, and we're seeing the chaos and panic that is consuming our nation. And it's time for us to hit our knees and pray in faith that God will revive our country, and will use this to open people's eyes to see Him and bring people to know Him. It's a very, very thin line when it comes to what I'm about to say, because I'm not happy we have this virus by any ways or means, and I'm not joyful about it, but I see it as an opportunity. This is an opportunity for us to be a light in a dark world. And the only way that that's going to happen is if we start on our knees. That's the best place to go. And I would encourage you, pray over the next few days, over this next week. Pray that God would use you to be a light in someone's life, because people are now seeing death face to face, even though the facts might not say it. We might disagree about it, whatever. But either way, people are afraid of dying, and that's why this panic is happening. People are afraid of death. And when people have to look death in the face, they're going to ask questions. Yeah. They're going to wonder, well, what happens when I die? And this is a time for us to be good Christian influences and be a light in the world. But that's not going to be able to take place if we don't start on our knees and ask God to just anoint us for this and allow Him to use us as basically just an extension of His hands and arms just to touch the world. And we got to do that by starting on our knees in prayer.
Yeah. Well, that's all we have this week. Don't forget to always say your prayers, but especially be mindful when you're praying. And always, what you want. God knows your needs before you even speak them, but you need to make sure that you are very clear in your prayers and mindful and taking to heart what you are praying about.
Yeah, and we'll put a link in the video as well for a video that we did several weeks ago about prayer as well, like how prayer actually works. And if you have any questions about that, make sure to go watch that video. It's really cool how we talk about how Jesus is our intercessor. So make sure to check that out, and check out our video about fear too if you haven't watched it. Both of those videos kind of feed right into what we talked about today. But that's all we've got for this week. I'm Grant.
And I'm Gabby.
And we are the G Team.
And don't forget,
do your best and let God do the rest.